So this is our team trios tournament, and I am playing on the left, and my opponent is playing on the right. Surprisingly,
All right, and we
if I
have
remember
Demir
correct,
Agro versus Is it Phoenix?
yeah, if I remember correctly, my opponent's thoughts.
All right.
I remember losing all the dice.
I see the Phoenix player is reading Prophet's eidetic memory in his hand. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, he wasn't like that experienced player. He was mostly with his friends.
Okay.
But yeah. So we both keep 7, and so this is like a really slow start from the Phoenix, because usually it wants to get the like turn 1 cantrip or just set up, but of course then it gets the turn 2 Prophet, which isn't as good as like Artist Talent or even the what's the bird? Ledger Shredder, even though it isn't played as much anymore.
Yeah. I would imagine you even prefer just having the fairy that adventure mills for. That's still better than the.
Yeah, in this spot, like Prophet is best when you have already a creature in play.
Yeah, exactly, and you want to actually just push some damage through. And here you definitely take the Phoenix.
Yeah, of course, it's the best card. Like when I saw this hand, I was really, because it's not a good hand.
Yeah, it's not.
It doesn't have
missing something to fuel those.
Yeah, it's missing all the cantrips. It's missing all the discard. It just has stuff. I decided to take out the Treasure Cruise because in the long game I'm gonna lose to multiple Treasure Cruise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and your opponent again just didn't draw anything, has just a land, and then we'll feel pretty sad with the plan seems to be hard cast Phoenix on 4, which is not very good.
Yeah. He's reading his cards, but this is what surprised. The next play is what surprised me. I didn't expect this.
Oh no, this is definitely not what I expected.
As because I didn't expect this, I play a complete idiot now. I play a land, attack with both, and then use Kaito. And knowing my opponent has Phoenix and Torste Tower.
Yeah, so you just decided Kaito apparently you didn't want it to stick around. You just wanted the 3 damage really badly.
and now you see me putting 2 and being like, oh wait a minute. Wait, you you have to wait. Oh fuck. Because if I plus, it dies 100%. If I minus, it dies 100%.
Yep. So I guess you might as well get a card out of it.
In the end, this was like every choice I made, I could have made with Kaito is just bad.
Yeah.
I should have just like attacked with 1. If they block, okay, well 1/1 traded for 3/1.
Yep.
So now I'm like, oh well, now I'm in a bad position. My hand isn't very good, and now they have the setup Artist Talent.
Yeah.
So
now the talent is going to be doing a lot.
Nothing is good at this point, and I'm losing my Kaito to just Torche Tower. I'm just reminding about the Artist Talent, and this was so heartbreaking because it was the first game of the day, and I'm already fumbling everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, nice of you reminding the Prophet's triggers as well before combat, so that the
brazen bar at the combat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now at least now I can shift my plan to the cat. Enduring Curiosity, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's the one that draws 1,000,000 cards in essence, right? Whenever you deal combat damage with a creature, you draw a card.
To player.
The player, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, so at least I have the second engine on, and because now I know he doesn't have to talk to tower, so he cannot get rid of the Enduring Curiosity.
Oh yeah, right. Torch Tower exiles as well, does it?
Yeah, and because he doesn't have the Brazen Borrower, he can't bounce it either, so it's like very hard to get rid of it now.
Yep, pretty safe card advantage engine.
Yeah.
Into play now.
Of course, everything can still like go to south if he just gets the engine on.
Okay, let's see what's the discard here.
He has only Treasure Cruise in hand, and this is what I was very surprised about. He decided to discard the Treasure Cruise.
That is interesting, for sure.
Yeah, that didn't seem right to me. I was like, okay, so you have only 2 in the deck anymore, and that's probably your best card in the deck.
Yeah, and also the choice not to even level up the... I guess maybe he drew something relevant here, but I would probably just...
no, he just drew the Hall of the Storm Giants. And this was at end of combat. I drew the ninja from the Curiosity.
Nice. And you can still sneak it in because it's still not blocked, technically.
Yeah, and for some reason my opponent, I said Fatal Push, and he showed me his hand being like, oh, it wasn't Thoughtseize?
One black.
But yeah, the end of combat ninjutsu is really fun. Like, oh, I didn't get the card, but I got the Fatal Push off. That was my main...
that's true.
Yeah, that was mainly because why I did it. It was like to get the revolt.
Yeah, that's very strong. Okay, so leveled up the talent, but I feel like at this point there's not much.
Yeah, I have little
much left in the
I have lethals on the board because I have 5, 7 plus Mutavolt, so 9, and Drowner 11.
Nice. So even if you had a creature or several, they would have just been pointless.
Yeah, because Drowner is just that good.
Mm-hmm.
Just attack with everything, and the game ended. How sad.
Yeah. Very slow start from Phoenix. Decent start from you. Let's ignore the Kaito play, but Phoenix can do better than this.
Yeah, I tried to lose the game as I tried to be the loser, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you didn't manage to in the end. All right, Phoenix still on the play. Let's see if they can get like a better start than...
And as I didn't know if you saw my hand, but the first card is Leyline of the Void.
Yeah, that's never pleasant for the Phoenix player. And from what I can tell from the Phoenix hand, it also doesn't look that great. It looks like a slow sculpting hand.
And then there's the Leyline.
And then the plan is out the window.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure. His hand doesn't literally do anything with now.
Yeah. Yep, it does nothing there. Oh, hey.
Yeah, about those cantrips.
Yeah, they're supposed to fuel your treasure cruise or similar things, but that's very hard to do when they go into exile.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really good position for me because he needs to again play just Proft, basically set up nothing. And I have Leyline, I have the 1/1, so I basically just the world is my oyster at the moment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you just get to just... Oh, I didn't see your hand, but I guess you don't have anything better than just exploring.
Yeah, I don't remember my hand fully. I think I have a Mockingbird. Yeah, I have a double Mockingbird in my hand and Sheldred. I think I have 1 black source in my hand. Mockingbird, something.
Okay, there was Children, so there's 1 card we don't know, but nonetheless.
I know there's an island. I might have been searching for the black sources, so I might not have any black sources at the moment.
Okay. Right, so you're doing nothing, but you have a Leyline, and you're attacking for 3 in the air.
Yeah, I'm still developing my board with the Mockingbird.
Yeah.
And because it got the counter, so it hits the Siren hits harder.
Yep.
Oh no, it died. Anyways. Still, this is my opponent is doing nothing at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, I have Water Grave in the hand. That was, I cannot clearly say. It was Fatal Push.
Fatal Push, yeah.
Yeah, Mockingbird copying basically Spike as Siren because it's a Mockingbird. And this, I am not sure if this is right to use the Mutavolt for attacking. I also could have just used both of my maps here.
Yeah, which probably results in the same amount of damage, maybe more in the long term, right? But you die more easily to removal.
I'm not sure. It could have been just map and map again.
Yeah.
It could have been right.
Yeah, because then you maybe find more lands if you or get rid of the lands from the top of the deck or grow your creatures. Maybe that was better to do more damage.
Yeah, because I have the fatal push. I was reserving the maps for the fatal pushes. Might have been still not been right. But yeah, this was
This is
very aggressive lightning axe.
That's the saddest lightning axe I've seen in a while. Yeah.
I think my opponent should have just like used it for my like threaten my multi-vault, because now again I have the possibility to just like play a land, 2 maps and multi-vault.
Yep.
Yeah, here I go mapping again. And it was a black source, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was Watery Grave.
Yep, that's
So now
good. That's shielded next turn. So
Yep,
the cantrips are off as well.
Yeah, I have the double black, and I have seen 1 lightning axe, so I have like baited out 1 lightning axe, and there's another Lily of the Void.
Yeah, don't need that. 1's enough.
Yeah, because if he would have had the lightning axe, I couldn't have done the play of attacking with Mutavolt, or he could have denied me 1 of the maps.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's the saddest part. Another Proft.
Boy. Oh, and it's legendary also. Oh, that hurts.
I think his hand would have been like some like usable if I didn't have the leyline.
Yeah. It looked like a slower hand, so if you had something more aggressive, but you kept on the strength of leyline, knowing that that's just going to put a massive wrench in whatever plans Phoenix had.
Yeah. The only thing I was scared of was Brazen Borrower. Nothing else scared me.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Shelter in the play, Leyline on the play, there's like almost nothing my opponent can do, and that's the game. Like, what you can say. It was
that was a pretty
game.
brutal match. Yeah.
I think my opponent fumbled the first one, and then there's the bonus game. It was like, 17 minutes. Guys, you're still playing. You just started round 2 or like game 2. Oh, just come here and play.
All right.
And this is a deck that I think you're a little bit more familiar with.
I have played a little bit of Observer's Control, yeah, but a bit more of Amulet Titan actually.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were the Control guru.
I don't actually. I think I've never played Control. I've always just done either mid-range nonsense or full-on combo.
What do you call about the lottery? Is it a combo deck or the world?
That's just degenerate, I think. Yeah, the spin the wheel, glimpse of the unthinkable or something, glimpse of the something.
Glimpse of the something. But yeah, this is second game. Jani, which is playing the Amulet Titan, won the first game. So this is 1-0, and they have sideboarded.
Yeah. So usually you have to sideboard the Titan player will just slow down a ton or play a defense grid, depending. All right.
Yeah, Jani is like still playing, I think, 3 to 4 defense grids. And here we are confused. Oh, they are confused about the prismatic ending.
Yeah, that thankfully says no non-permanent. So you cannot take it. The March of Otherworldly Light can actually take that one.
And Teferi.
And Teferi, yes, that also does it.
Yeah, that's also really annoying because now he drew Spelunking, so he cannot play the Spelunking, and he doesn't have the amulet.
Considerably slower. Yeah.
So this slows down Jani really much.
Yeah. Yeah, and usually you want to get to the point against controller, you either just force like a series of Titans every turn until they eventually run out of counterspells, or if you just don't have many, you want to try to double spell. So in one turn, you want to try to get both down, and for that, having amulets and a lot of mana definitely helps. So the Teferi plan to slow it down was very good.
Yeah, especially now because basically, like the Teferi made Jani also like lose some mana in a way that he couldn't use his turn 3 to do anything, and the control player is still developing their mana, which makes it harder to double spell. Yeah, the Echoing Deeps was copying Misty Rainforest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just in case that they have the Harbinger.
Oh, I'm surprised I didn't expect. So honestly, I'm not familiar with those control lists nowadays. I don't know if they play Harbingers or if they lean towards something like Field of Ruin.
They like, I think they have the possibility, because it's a blue deck.
Yeah, of course. You
So,
want to respect it, probably.
Yeah.
It's not a bad play.
Yeah, because I think does it even matter? Because the other option was Breeding Pool, which makes transmuting a little bit easier. But the other is just playing around the fish and not losing to that.
Yeah, I'm thinking the only way this could backfire is if they play Field of Ruin.
Oh yeah,
which
true.
Some control decks do.
I just noticed that the Kahera, so there's no fish.
Yeah, that's I also just saw it. Yeah, so no fish, and then I might have actually taken the breeding pool or
Let's
something
just
else,
say
just because.
Let's just say it's the magical deck thinning.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Because you only have 33 lands and you're thinning one. Maybe I draw one less.
Exactly. Maybe you get to a better land instead.
Oh, instead of drawing forest, you get Crumbling Vestige.
Yes, which is a forest, basically. Or you get a bounce land that's card advantage.
Oh, true. And then you get to draw the other forest, and you'll be like, oh, now I have two forests.
So this position looks terrifying because no creature suggested there is Days Undoing as well in this Azorius control list. And you definitely don't want to get Days Undoing with 3 lands in play and nothing else.
Yeah, this is the Days Undoing version. So this is a horrible position.
Yeah.
Because there's also no amulet in the field, so there's no possibility to combo even on this turn. And
well, technically amulet loaded field, but I feel like we would have seen those amulets if Yanni had them.
Yeah, I also think that we would have seen them already.
Yep, that's Grazer is a very good creature, but it's not as good on turn 4, 5.
Without amulets, because with amulets it can be a ritual effect.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Okay, so there is a potential for amulet for Titan next turn, but there's a very low chance of it resolving, I feel.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it would have said that Yanni should have played the Ursa Saga. If he loses it, he's gonna lose the game anyway, and the Teferi is going to 4, so...
Yeah, so that's true.
But it's still better to get the Teferi minus on that, probably, because then you get the Karn struck. Because the Titan is not resolving. It's never gonna resolve.
Yeah, that's very true.
If you would even be able to cast it.
How many forms of counter spells do Azorius control lists play? I'm actually gonna just quickly check a stock list.
Yeah, go check. I think it's 4 counter spells for sure. Some play Cryptic Command, if I remember correctly.
Really? Well, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, I have seen 1 to 2. Because it's still in these decks where you actually want to go to the absolute late game, it's still a good card, and because the tap ability is still relevant.
Yeah. Stock lists don't seem to have them. There may be some lists that do. But so there are actually only 4 counter spells in the deck.
Okay.
And then the 2 spellsners, of course, and 1 forces. But half of them are out, so there's a chance that Titan actually would resolve here, and then probably get exiled immediately by Solitude or something else.
Yeah. Well, now we have. Yeah. Now we can see the March.
The March. Yeah.
And with the Orange Chant also preventing doing anything.
Yeah. The only way there was to get a land that doesn't pass priority into Titan, and then maybe you have 2 more lands, which could be 2 sagas, and you can start pushing Construct through. No, but it's really tough.
They still cast Orange Chant in the upkeep.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a really hard round in a sense that our pauper player at the moment is winning his game. Like they're on the second game, I think, and they're winning at the moment. And constantly, I think Yanni is considering about conceding at this point.
Yeah.
Like
How did game one go? Did Yanni won game one? So
Yanni
this
won.
is
Yeah. So he's constantly thinking about conceding, like to get game
save time.
3.
Yeah.
But he is still playing because we talked during the game because we were allowed to talk with teammates. So I was talking about when does he want to concede, and he wanted to play. Of course, that was fully okay for me. Even though
for sure.
I think he never could win this, or like almost never.
Yeah, it seems very, very right. I don't know if there is some magical sideboard tech that Yanni might have brought, but thinking of most lists, there is no like surprise Emrakul or similar things that maybe resolves
I think
in a super.
Yanni is playing stock ups in his list.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so I think he's trying to find the like stock ups and like card advantage and anything to like get to the double spelling point.
Yeah, because that could be good.
And well, of course, there's always the possibility of just casting Scape Shift with Amulet and winning.
Yeah, definitely. There's always that. That's always an option, assuming nothing happens to your stuff.
Yeah, but it's still a possibility. I like understand completely why he didn't concede, because Titan can just win from basically nothing.
Yep. And also, if just magically the Cultivated Colossus resolves, you can just draw, 5 cards if you have lands in hand? Or probably a lot more, actually, if that just magic. Because if he gets removed afterwards, doesn't matter, as long as it just gets the ETB off. That's a game changer.
Yeah, it can be, but that's another Orim's Chant, basically another time walk for the control player.
Yep.
So for every moment, this just seems rougher and rougher. Just like the game plan of Azorius control, and there's the Damping Sphere.
And the Damping Sphere, and now you're back to 4 mana. After all this work, you're back to 4.
Now you can see that he's just looking at his cards, being like,
What's the point of this? Why am I doing this? Why are we here only to suffer?
I don't like this anymore. Like, please.
Yeah. Yeah, and that turned something like 12 of the lands in Yanni's deck into horrible lands because they're either Lotus Fields, which sacrifice 2 lands and then they make 1 mana. Well, 1 is in the graveyard, I guess. Or the bounce lands, which will set you back a mana basically every time you play one.
Look, that's the only basically dual land. The land that gets 2 mana if you have Amulet.
That skip shift was interesting. It was probably intended to get, I would imagine, Sagas to push some constructs, but it's good that he gets a counterspell out because
I think it
earlier,
mostly,
there's only 1 left.
I think mostly it was a bait. Like
I would agree. Because there is nothing scary that you can really do, sacking 5 lands with no Amulet in play.
Yeah, you mostly would get like you said, Ursa Saga, something, and something.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to get any bounce lands because, well, they suck now.
They suck now, yes. You can consider bounce on Besaju as an option.
That's true. Yeah, that's maybe what he was going for. Because control cannot answer do anything for Poseu. It's gonna resolve the ability.
Yep. Oh, we're getting too hard cast. Lorian at instant speed. That's just brutal. So I have a feeling that I was brought here to suffer, watching my beloved Amulet Titan deck play against this horrendous situation. I'm convinced that there was no other reason to me being invited here.
No, that's the reason why I said I want you. I want you to see the Amulet Titan.
Yeah, just and every draw step, I know this sensation of every draw step you take is like, is there something I can actually draw to change the game here? And the answer is not really, unfortunately. But every time there's a bit of hope that maybe this is the card that gets me out of this. No, it isn't.
Yeah, I really don't see any cards that you could draw. Well, technically, because there's only one counter spell anymore.
One
A
kind of spell
Titan
left,
would
yeah.
probably resolve at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, is Titan good enough anymore?
It's probably not.
Because what's it gonna do? It's gonna get like, yes, Tursa Sagas?
Potentially towards the sagas. You could consider getting the woodland, but no, but actually there's no point because there is no non-exile removal in the Desert's control deck. So
Because it could change into like defense grid, but that's so much mana though, especially with the Damping Spear on the play.
yeah. Yeah, it looks like a lot, but yeah, he's actually only on 6 still due to the Damping Sphere.
And I don't think he has Delirium at the moment. He has Defense Grid, Land, and Scape Shift. And the last one is Exiled.
There's also Spelunking. So
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah, he has.
so there is Delirium. There's Artifact, Enchantment, Land, and Sorcery.
Yeah. But yeah, he still cannot get the best card, like which would be a Titan.
Yeah.
Because it will just get exiled. And if it goes into graveyard, it's probably because it got countered. And because it got countered, you don't even have the Shifting Woodland.
Exactly.
This is not a very good moment for the deck.
And this is the really sad stare down where your opponent has 2 planeswalkers and you just have an amulet effect. All right.
And look, it doesn't even draw a card because Narset is in the field.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really sad land to put into play. It's not even a cave. Even though it's a gemstone cavern, it's not a cave.
Yeah, bullshit.
You don't get the 4 life.
Imagine what you could do with the 4 life. Take one more hit from Solitude. Yeah, this is also the part of the game where I was about to say the control gets to use the Gaia-Rich Sanitarium.
Okay, they changed their mind. All right.
Yeah, this makes way more sense.
Way more sense. Yeah, you do want to be discarding your opponent's cards, not just well, it's a colorless source. Just put it in. I'm surprised to see Brain Surge. To be honest, I would have thought that there is a lot of sort of better options than that one. It's still it draws 2 cards, but I thought that like Stock Up, for example, would be better in this.
Well, it's
position.
a sorcery. Brain Surge.
Always Brain Surge as instant. Okay, right. And here is finally the Day's Undoing. That's pretty much a ceiling.
Yeah, this is like it says. It's gonna end the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yanni is gonna draw 1 card. Technically, the control player could have just plus Teferi. I don't know if he just forgot again, but he could have plussed and passed.
Up. And then upkeep end the turn.
Draw because it doesn't end the turn if it's not your turn.
Oh, okay.
But at your draw step, use this, and you have drawn already the 1 card, so you draw 0.
So bye-bye.
Only thing you need to be aware of at that point is Otawara.
Yep. But 1 was already. I think the decks usually just play 1, and it was already used.
I think Yanni is playing 2.
Okay. All right.
I think I remember Yanni having 1 in the sideboard at least.
That's a common option, actually.
That's true. 1 mine, 1 side. But yeah, now it's like, yeah. Basically nothing he can do at this point. Yeah.
There's 2 spells in his hand, but they're not good.
And opponent is starting. And now, again, Gaia-Rich Sanitarium can be used to discard the cards. There's really nothing he can do anymore to win this game. The control has it has controlled the game till the point that nothing matters anymore.
But to be fair, Yanni is up 1-0, and there is 0 pressure from the control player. So if no creatures come down to actually smack, then Time might be an actual issue.
Because I think when he I'm gonna spoil that he is gonna concede at some point, because obviously he's gonna lose this. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing he could do.
No.
Control player probably has everything, and I think when he concedes, there's like 12 minutes in the clock. So no.
Oh, all right, then never mind. That's a long time still.
Yeah, there's no way, because Control deck has hard time winning in 12 minutes, but Amulet Titan has really good odds of killing in 12 minutes.
Sure. For sure.
So I think the conceding at that point was completely correct, or is gonna be correct because, well, he can win.
Yeah, I think I personally would have considered after Days Undoing. I think that would have been enough for me.
Yeah, but yeah, he's gonna continue
but I
playing.
Understand I understand, just like, but maybe I draw something and then out of nowhere I win. It can happen with Titan.
Yeah, because still the Titan is like a 2-card combo deck basically, with the Amulet effect and Scape Shift.
Yep.
And because you don't have any, like, there isn't any relevant card in exile or in hand, because everything got shuffled back into the deck.
Yeah, exactly. So every option is still open.
I want to tell you a funny thing about the camera setup, because now he concedes. Like,
now there's a way to lose. Okay, I'm out.
But yeah, the camera setup is funny because I brought my like little tripod, like, which is meant to be like it like has the little legs. It's the phone, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put it like here, crack. 2 of its legs have just broken. Instantly when I started using, like, oh, you must be fucking serious. So I just took a chair and duct tape.
And honestly, works great.
Yeah, it's really shaky because, of course, players are gonna move the table.
Yeah.
But it was the best at that point. It looked very funny. But yeah, this is a 1-1 situation, and there's like from 11 to 10 minutes in the, and Yanni is starting great with Amulet.
Yeah, great start.
And it didn't even get exiled, so.
Yep, no prismatic ending on the opponent's side. That's also really good.
Crumbling West is making green, and
yeah,
here you can see the stock up.
Nice. That's really strong. I'm guessing it made blue then.
Yeah, well, it must have, because otherwise there's no way to cast it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many he played. It was 2 or 3. I think it was
very solid
2.
Update. Very solid tech, because in a way it serves a similar purpose to what the ring did, which was to dig.
And stock up is very strong because Amulet doesn't really care about it being sorcerer, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna just slam this.
Exactly, yes.
This is this is not even that bad. Like, of course, you would prefer not to lose your Amulet, but your opponent just used missed his turn 1 doing anything and used his turn 2 to answer your 1-mana spell with 2-mana spell.
Exactly, and then if Spelunky was in the hand, then it's really not a problem, because Spelunky does not stack with the amulet.
Yeah, this is why the deck is so scary, because it only really needs one of these effects.
Yeah, which is a big change from how it used to be from.
Yeah, because in the day, when it needed like 2 to usually like combo off, it was like very easy to just get all of the Amulet hate. But now, because it only needs 1 Spelunking or 1 Amulet, it's like answering them is useless, in my opinion, most of the time.
Yeah, and oftentimes they don't even die to the same kind of removal. So a pest control is a common tech against it, and it's really good. but it does not kill Splunking, for example. Wait, Pest Control is the one that kills the one CMC or less, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about your Ursa Saga moment.
Shut up. Yes, I have been burned in the past by Pest Control. In like
It was a Saga time.
Yeah, he was like, oh, it's Saga Clock. I have 2 Saga, I've got 3 Construct, I've got 2 Amulets, this is beautiful. Pest Control.
Yeah.
Oh no. Why would you do this to me?
Oh, this was interesting. I don't remember this. He used his Coast Quarter on his own Crumbling Vestige.
I did notice that there was a bit of a problem with the lack of green sources, which it's a common pattern to start. Even if your hand does not have any like permanent green sources, it's usually okay because you play something around 20 in your deck, so it's very easy to get to them. But you do need double green if you want to play the famous Titan card.
Also, you can see on the control players the blue land, which is right behind his right hand, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That makes something uncounterable. Not relevant in this game, but really like cool tech.
Oh, right. That's the newest land, right?
Yeah, from the Tarkir.
Yeah.
It's the Temur one. Like you can see the Temur.
6 is huge in this matchup. Usually it's a lot better when you can play something immediately after. But I think it's a must answer threat.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing in that like bin at the moment either.
Yeah.
So it's like if it like can attack, okay, well it's gonna do something, and if it doesn't, well, control use their mana, and you can, because you can see in Janis Hunter's Otavara, Green Sun, Cultivator Colossus, and something. And he's not really that far from the Cultivator. It's like 1 bounce land.
Interestingly, if Yanni had kept in hand that Vestige, that's 7, which would have been Cultivator Colossus for next turn. Yeah, but if he only has 1 land in hand, maybe it's not that good.
Yeah, he wouldn't have any because he would need to play the Otavara now and next the Crumbling Vestige. Oh yeah, this was a big thing. Because 6 says among the milled cards get the land, right?
Interesting. Let me check. Because I'm not sure.
Because I think it was among the milled cards. So like 6's attack trigger doesn't care.
From among them, yes.
Yeah. So
that's correct.
It can still get the land from even though it's exiled because it doesn't care.
Yep.
But of course the retrace is now off and most of the lines are off. And there goes the analyst anyway.
Exactly. Who needs them anyway? But actually, one common misconception is to go super heavy into a Graveyard Hate versus Titan, which is it's not a bad play. I'll concede that it's important to have Graveyard Hate, but the deck is still so threatening even without it because you can still attack for 12 out of nowhere if you have, let's say, 2 untappers and then a Titan, which is still pretty solid damage and threatens lethal for next turn. So.
But it completely shuts down the Scapeshift win conditions most of the time.
Yes.
Like or the easiest ones, the analyst loops.
Yeah, easy, quote unquote.
Well, what I have seen, you need to go like through few hoops with analyst, but without analyst, you need to go like through hoop that goes through hoop that goes through, and so on.
That's correct. Yes.
If you
the
don't
easiest one.
Yeah, if you don't have something like bounce everything to and like Scape Shift, bounce everything in the hand, play Cultivator Colossus, copy Colossus, or stuff like that.
That's a pretty cool play.
But yeah, that's also very good hand from the control player. The Tomb Supreme Verdicts are a little bit, but there's double subtlety and 1 solitude, so that's a really good hand.
Yeah, that's stopping the next few threats. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they were asking what happens to the Otavara, but of course it gets exiled because it's a cost to discard it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not sure if the graveyard does Yanni even like. Does the graveyard matter anymore for him? Because he has the shifting woodland, but that's basically it, right?
Yeah, because without analysts, there is nothing else that cares about the graveyard.
Because they don't play. Well, he has 6 at the moment, but
that is true. But without a graveyard to begin with, I guess there's not much to gain from the attacks. Oh, interesting. Oh,
yeah,
all right, fine.
It was very like. This is a way to do like you can do it like that also.
Yeah.
I also thought when I saw the solid, it's gonna exile the Cultivator Colossus. What happened? Also, I think there was a mistake. The Supreme Verdict that got pitched went to the graveyard.
Yeah, it should have been exile.
There's gonna be another mistake. Like you can see rested pieces in the play, and the control player puts his cards in the graveyard. It's a little mistake.
Right. Yeah, they should be exiled.
Yeah. Sadly, there is gonna be a point when it technically matters, but you're gonna see it in a few hours or minutes.
In some time.
Yeah, this is rough.
This is really rough. Yeah, you're just getting. You try to do something, and then that not only denies your play, also denies your draw every single time because, well, you want to get that card. It's a really good one to resolve, but how many more subtleties are there in that hand?
Yeah, we know there's no more. I think the 2 were used, but that's still very rough because now actually the control player has the clock to end the game in like the what minutes they have anymore.
Yep.
We also made an oopsie and didn't use the dice that represent the turns. It's outside of the camera when it happens.
Okay, that's fine.
So we have I don't remember at what point it happened, but yeah.
It's okay. We will just guess.
Yeah. Because I think turns are being called in like a few moments, or it already has. I'm not 100% sure at this point.
Yeah, because the thing is that Amulet usually takes a long time to do stuff, but it's only 1 turn.
Yeah.
So technically, you can still get something done. Yeah. But the lack of loops with the analyst means you cannot present an infinite damage. Win condition is just.
This is not helping anything.
This is not helping. So the cultivator is gone. Your hand is gone. And now the control player is.
Yeah, but here now you can see that. I'm not sure what they're.
Yeah, exactly. What I think Yanni thought that it was being cast. I also thought that.
I think they verbally said it's gonna. They just confirmed live totals. Okay, but this, see, he takes his graveyard.
Right. Yeah, so there's a subtlety in the deck now that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, and there's a Supreme Verdict also, and a third card I already forgot. And now
I think it was a fetch.
Yeah, now they remember it, and they're like, shit. Because this is not a competitive, this was played as a regular ruling. I let them just do this.
Just fix it. Yes.
Yeah, because because it was a public information, so they both know what was in the graveyard.
Yeah.
And this is basically a friendly game, even though it's a 3-3 construct tournament. But yeah, this could have been a bigger thing, but luckily it was only 4 cards and only one of them mattered.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there was a pending, I guess, as well. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the moment in the real time. I was looking at our Hopper player's game because he needed more help. Which was funny because at the moment when Yanni conceded, our Popper player was winning. And after he conceded, our Popper player started losing right at the moment.
Oh no, it was a matter of morale.
So, At this point, our team is just like 1-0 because I have won my game.
Yeah, and the other two players are just kind of in the bin.
Yeah, both of our like other players are losing now.
Yeah, this is another really, really tough spot where I don't really know what can get Yanni out of this one. Somehow a resolved Titan into another resolved Titan, but
Well,
I don't know how that happens.
Scapeshift is like an option because like it could get like transmute lands or transmute lands because he has spelunking, so he gets mana from them. Like
That's
mana
true.
to cast the Titans, and his opponent is like tapped out at the moment. Or not, because if this is Orim's Chant,
then
it's really bad.
You can see one at the bottom of the deck, though. So there's at least one in the deck.
This was
into Plains.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they noticed that it was Misty Rainforest, so this shouldn't be a legal thing to do.
Oh yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because Yanni hasn't done any damage. And it wouldn't matter if he would kill his opponent. He would die either from 19 or from 17.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this is already turns.
Yeah, Yanni's hand is very good. It's a Scapeshift and a Titan in hand, and both are castable in one turn. But can you get there is the question.
And now you can see the counterspell in hand.
Oh, cool. So only one of those resolves, maybe.
Yes. And if I remember correctly, this shows another counterspell?
Oh, that's just insulting.
I might be wrong. Let's see if I was wrong.
Please be wrong. Don't make me suffer this way.
No, it was another counterspell.
Oh my god, guys.
Look at this player who really wants to win. And he has another Solitude in his hand at the moment. So this is really rough situation to even look at.
And this is like what, the third hit of the two elementals, so you're down to what, around 5-ish.
I think Yanni is at 7 at the moment.
Yeah. So you don't even have time to just wait.
Yeah, and our pauper players have already like finished their game. They tied 1-1. So everything's riding on this game. And the Scapeshift?
Oh.
They're not countering it yet.
Oh.
And that's a thumbs up. I'm like,
it resolves? Oh my god, that's huge.
I am next to you and being like, what just happened?
What just happened?
I sped up the footage also, but because this is gonna take some time, because Yanni just got
also, there's a Cardinal Souls in I guess it's from a sideboard card. That's also huge.
Yeah, like I see that the Scapeshift resolving. Like, wait, Yanni is either gonna win this or tie this now.
Yeah.
There's like nowhere he's gonna lose this now.
No, because no.
You know, he has the Titan in hand. He has
which will resolve because Giant from there.
If I remember correctly, Yanni is gonna get like bounce lands and transmute to get the beast.
Beast instead? That's what I was thinking as well. That sounds just better. But you can what? Yeah, I guess you can float Beast now, and then you can pick up the cavern and put it back down with Giant instead, and you can have both if you want.
Yeah.
Well, that's massive, actually.
Yeah, like, I don't know how the Scapes is resolved, but it's the only... I think Yanni would have lost this 100%.
For sure. I think all you have to do there as a control player is just counter anything that gets cast. Doesn't matter what it is, just say no. Well, maybe don't counter and explore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And now Yanni also has Otavara in hand, so he has basically a removal spell. And if I remember correctly, this is like turn 3.
That's huge. So you even gets another one after this. And you can actually even consider, after you play whatever creature you want to play next, if that gets Solitude instantly, you can also just Otawara it. Since Yanni has 1 million mana, you can just Otawara it back, and then you can just play it again, because mana is not an issue here.
Yeah. Okay, this wasn't the game where Yanni got the... he was in a similar situation in other game, but yeah, now he's gonna Primeval Titan.
Yep.
But like, oh yeah, you can see the camera moving now because somebody hit the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine all of this from one scape shift.
Yeah, one silly scape shift
that didn't get countered.
Yeah, I can only imagine the control player at the moment is just thinking, "What have I done?
Yeah.
Oh no, this game was in the bag. I just said no. Probably just didn't think it through so quickly. It's like, okay, what's the worst that can happen here? Nothing, I guess. And then suddenly, this is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mirrorpool's very good pick here. I guess Yanni. Oh, he has a colorless as well. Good.
Yeah, and because we're also thinking about the solitude. Like, okay, if he has opponent has solitude, Yanni really doesn't care. He has more with the Titan. He gets enough life to not die.
Exactly. Yeah, and then it's a tie.
Yeah. So there's like now we're in a situation. Yanni has another Lotus Field in the hand. So, and he has all of that mana at the moment. He can just copy it with Mirrorpool. If it gets exiled, well, he has enough life to survive, and he has Otawara now.
Yeah.
So we're talking about now that is it just better to not try to even win? Just go for the tie, because we are already 1 win, 1 tie, and with 1 win, 2 ties, and opponent team having 1 loss, 2 ties, our team is gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that solitude?
Yeah, that's solitude.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm guessing Yanni's thinking about Otawaring the Titan back, but at this point, you actually don't have that much mana left. I thought he'd have more.
But like we were talking about, it doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because he plays this, and he's gonna sack this cover instead of the handwear battlements to have the Bosseo for any reason.
Yeah. In case there's anything funny.
And this is turn 4. Yanni has like now 13 life.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no way to lose from here. There's only 9 damage, and as far as I know, there is no blue or white lightning bolt.
Yeah, and well, he has like his opponent has Kahera, but it's only 3 more damage.
Yeah,
and Yanni still has the Otawara. So that one escape shift resolving, like, got the tie.
Yeah, got the tie instead of a loss. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, and you can see like the power of the escape shift just from that. With that one card, he was almost able to do like double Titan.
Yeah, and if you think about it, if there had not been a rest in peace in the game, if this was like a graveyard is allowed game, that was a Titan win.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Yeah, because it would have probably been the win from that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
there's enough mana that even if you counter the analyst and it goes to the graveyard, you can just woodland it, and then you still have enough mana.
Yeah, so that's like the full difference of the team trios when there's like because the possibility of tying is like equal to winning instead of tie being a loss.
Exactly, which is massive.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the first round. We still have
that was
more.
A crazy game. That's a crazy game to end it on. Actually, that was what an insane scape shift.
Yeah, wasn't it? I'm still so surprised that it resolved.
Same. That was crazy.
This is not me talking smack on the control player. I'm sure he wasn't like very familiar with the Titan, like lines or how the scape shift functions in the deck, but still.
To this day, I can only choose to believe the saying that the only reason Titan is allowed as a deck is because it's really hard to play. And it's really hard to play against as well if you're not familiar with all the weird things that can happen out of this. Because in most cases, whenever you see escape shift cast against you, you think, okay, he's going to get a bunch of tap lands, next turn, something huge will happen. But there was this little card called Spelunking that said, actually, no, we're going to do all this now.
Actually, if I just win this turn.
Yeah, instead.
But yeah, let's go to the next round.